Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of the Jacobie podcast. I'm Nightwing, and we're having an interview with Jacobie today.
Hello.
Some leader-on-leader action.
Some real good Bert and Ernie stuff going on here.
Yes. I don't think we've ever had a leader interview another leader before. So it'll be interesting. And Diab's in the background, lurking, as always.
With microphone active.
Oh, yeah, so we might pull him in now and again to say a few things. So, Jacobie,
Yes.
let's clear it up once and for all. How do you say Jacobie? Is it Jacobie, Jacobie, Jacobie?
Jacobie.
Jacobie,
Yeah.
right.
Because it was from, was it Obi-Wan Jacobie is what my cousin called me. He was the one that got me into the game. So Obi-Wan Jacobie was just so long, I just shortened it to Jacobie.
Nice. Alright, I'm going to start calling you Jacobie then.
Thank God I've been calling you correctly all this time.
Yeah, all the European players have been calling me Jacobie, and I've just been like, whatever.
Jacobie. I don't know how Jacobie. Okay, now I know it's a Kenobi reference. I'll probably start calling you Jacobie. Kenobi is one of my favorites.
Yes, same.
Okay, so let's start with a little bit of an introduction then. You've been a leader now for a while. Since January, 22nd of January. So it's a good 6-7 months. And in that time, members should have gotten to know you by now. I did mine quite early on. I think I did mine pretty much a week after I got leader. Or something like that. So it was very sort of soon. I hadn't sort of settled in yet. So I guess you're bringing a different kind of perspective to how I did mine at the time. So why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? You have been on the podcast before.
My name is Jacobie.
Jacobie.
Let's see. I started playing JK back in 2005 when my cousin got me into it, and then in 2010 I took a long hiatus and came back in January 2016 and found this clan very much alive, which was very surprising. But yeah, I mean, I just fell right in with this community really quick. And a little bit about my personal self. I'm 24. I have one son, and I have another baby on the way currently. And yeah.
Future Jawas.
Yes, maybe. I don't know.
Will we last that long?
Yes. We have to.
I'll start them early. They've already got lightsabers.
Nice. Yeah, so I guess I've totally lost train of thought. Chain of thought. Yes, so Jacob. Oh, God's sake! It's not going to change overnight. So, Jacobie. What? So, like I said, you've been in leadership alongside me now for 7 months or so. You had some months with Link as well. So you got to see some very different leadership styles.
Yes.
But before we get into that, so when did I ask you? I asked you not long before we made it official, I guess.
Okay.
So, because I remember my initial reaction to being asked by Link, what was your reaction to being sort of probed with questions before I actually asked you if you wanted to be leader?
Wow, man. I don't know. Like once I got on the council, I know because of our friendship, I would always joke about taking your chair and just joke with you a lot about just like taking your position. And I never really meant it. And then there was an incident on the server where it was kind of like a leadership type situation, and I just kind of told you that I would cover it because I think it was really late for you. And then after that night, I just kind of felt like, I wouldn't much so mind it. And then you came to me about it, and then I was just kind of like, yeah, I was ready at that point.
Nice. So no feelings of dread or
There's always
nervousness?
dread.
Or...
There's always nervousness. There's nervousness every time I have to speak in front of members, to be honest with you.
That'll end. Eventually, you'll just start making crude jokes, and they'll laugh at you anyway. Yeah, I remember, like, mine, it was, because I was still very, very sort of nervous when I got leadership. I used to shake at events and stuff and just proper get bogged down by my nerves.
Yeah.
So when I was asked to be leader, I was like, Jesus. I was playing the Old Republic at the time. And I remember I was like shocked for a good 2 hours before I said, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to when I asked you. I think I consulted Link as well, sort of got his thoughts on the next leader, because we were sort of planning for him stepping down.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really prepared to do it alone again. Because no one wants to do this job alone.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, it's easier with a good counsel on your side, but even then, it's a lot of burden to bear for one person.
Right.
And I think how long you've been in? 7 months now, or so, isn't it?
Yeah, going on 8.
Yeah, so. And are you the first American leader?
I think I asked you that when I was first I can't say elected, appointed.
Elected. You were elected by me and Link.
I think I asked you that. I think you said Dutch was his name. I think you said there was a leader named Dutch and he was American. I might have the name wrong.
I said there was a Dutch leader.
No, his name was Dutch.
His
name's not Dutch. It's not. I was gonna say something.
I don't know.
It was
Mario?
There's only a few, but
was Mario leader at one point? Because I think Mario was American.
Mario was considered leader at one point, yeah.
But I would say Jacobie is the first full-time American leader because the other ones didn't last that long.
Yeah, the others didn't last too long. I mean, things like I think Lord Grom was only there for a little bit before he went back to Thingy. So I think you're the longest running American leader at the moment, unless I'm thinking of something else. But you will be, I think, after a year, then you will be, because I'm now the second longest leader in the clan, behind Link. So, and I think the others are only about a year or so. So cool, okay. So yeah, no, so surprise. Oh yeah, so reaction to being leader. How did you think at the time? This is another question I'm just adding on here. How did you think at the time to people's reactions to you becoming the leader? Not necessarily to the election process, but to you becoming leader.
I think I got a lot of support. I mean, I can't necessarily hear or read what goes on in private channels, but I believe I got a lot of support. There was a lot of congratulations, and a lot of people just coming to me and saying, "Oh, you deserve it," blah blah blah. So I think it went over fairly well for the most part. I mean, there was the one incident, but I'm not going to go into that. So
Yeah, that doesn't deserve any attention, really. Yeah, like, I think from what I remember, like, the reception of you receiving the leadership role was very positive. Obviously, stuff happened not relating to you, but relating to the leadership process.
yeah.
But that's a whole other subject which we've explained multiple times. But yeah, I think the whole reception of you was good. It was positive for the large part. So yeah, since becoming the leader, then, like we said, you've been here for about 7 months or so now. You've settled in. You've seen what the role has to offer, the downsides, the upsides, the hard times, the fun times. What surprised you most about the leadership role? Like, what it has to offer, what the responsibilities are.
I would say that's kind of a hard one. What surprised me the most? It would probably just be the amount of work. Because when you go into council, it's a very big workload. Compared to not really doing anything unless you're in a club, and then just with all the backside, and there's a lot more forum work. And with the backside included, I didn't realize it was going to be so much. It's not an issue. It's just that's probably my biggest surprise was how much more like website stuff there is to do now.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot we do that members don't necessarily see we do, but is sort of paramount to keeping things flowing right. One of the biggest things, would you agree, about being a leader is the members, in terms of having to deal with tricky situations that come up with members, and I would say that's probably one of the most demanding parts of it, in terms of being involved emotionally with situations where you're trying to sort of help people, or not tell people off, but tell people off, I guess.
Yeah.
What's your sort of experiences with that like?
Well, it's been a whole different thing because with the tricky situations, with a lot of times you can't put personal feelings into it, whether it's a friend or it's somebody you might not really get along with already, whereas in the council member, you can make a suggestion, you can do this or that, say this, but ultimately it falls back on the leader if it escalates any further. Well, now I have to, my word is the final say, and that was a big adjustment. And so it's been I can't really think of the word right off the top of my head, but it's definitely different having to adjust to being the top like line.
Yeah, the book's fault stops with us, I guess. It's I think that's part of where the burden comes in.
Hey.
It's you're ultimately responsible for any decision the council makes. You're sort of the end game in a way. I mean, for some things we just let the council get on with it and sort of guide them if we need to, but for a lot of the thingy stuff, sort of we have to sort of make sure that what the decision the council are making is the right one, or is done in a way which is right for the clan. It's not an easy thing to get used to, but I think you've definitely done a good job at adapting to that.
It's definitely hard too because a lot of times things get mistaken with how you type stuff.
Yeah.
Because someone might, it kind of goes back to how the other person is what kind of mood they're already in. So I may say something and it could be completely, neutral on my end, but just the way it's read on the other end could make it seem, good or bad. Than it more bad than what it actually is. And that's another thing that, goes into play with all that. That's been different to adjust to.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so no, I was just reading another question and it was making me laugh. We'll get to that one later. So what surprised you most about the role? We've just done that one. Here's a fun one. We can talk about, and I'll answer this one too. What's the most difficult? Because so that bit of context. The council leadership work together as a whole, as the leadership. So there's us and there's them, and we're together, we work and everything. But separate to that is me and Jacko, and we have to work together somewhat closer than the rest of the council because we can't countermand each other. We can have differences of opinions, but we have to merge them together and compromise and do what's best for the clan. So we have to work well together, or the clan will fall apart, basically. Or it won't be good for the members because leadership fights are not good. I've seen it happen in clans a lot. Leaderships just break down, have fights, fall out, and it's not good at all. But and I like to think we got on quite well together. Same with me, because I don't like co-leaderships. I'm not a fan of them, at all. But I think when you do get a good co-leadership, when you get a good co-leader to work with, they're brilliant. They do what they're supposed to do. And I think that's with you, Link, and Zan, they work really well. But I've always said I don't like them because I don't think, not the people, the co-leadership. I wouldn't work with someone who I knew I wouldn't get on with. It just wouldn't work. So, but that aside, what's the most difficult thing working with me? And I'll answer it for you.
Wow, you found some hard ones. Gosh. Okay, Sith ranks. I'm all for Sith ranks. I don't care if anybody thinks it's a bad idea. I absolutely love Sith ranks, and it gets shot down every time I bring it up, but that's okay.
Compromise. Yeah. And the compromise is we're not doing that.
I mean, you get the saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I've also come from a clan where you had Jedi and Sith ranks that worked really complementary to each other. So I also got to see that side of things. But absolutely, I mean, if we don't agree on it, then why change them? Why try to force a change?
Yeah, I think we are going to cover the Sith ranks thing, so I won't go dead into that.
Yeah.
But I'm opposed it for Jawa, but I'm not opposed it, if that makes sense. I've ran clans. I was an emperor. I was a Darth. I've been a lord. I've been all sorts. I've had Jedi and Sith clans, and it works for some. It does work for some, and I think it's an interesting concept to have.
The problem.
No one has yet come to me with a system that will work and not divide the clan.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What the problem is, because Jawa's system is not really fit for Sith ranks right now.
I'm not saying it could never work, because we've had it before, but obviously Link said, like, it's time to move on. But I'm not 100% opposed to it. I'm 100% for a great idea.
Yeah.
So as long as there's a great idea, I shouldn't be saying this because this is going to spark loads of bloody debate.
Do you want me to edit this out?
Frosty's probably writing notes right now.
Yeah. What I will say though is I try to always come up with ideas that incorporates light and dark.
Yeah.
So people can have that little taste of the ranks. I have been thinking about a Sith day where we all wear Sith ranks.
That'd be
But I'm getting there. Closer.
Well, it could also work too. You know, in like I think Autumn put something up. I know I was interested in let it kind of fizzle out myself. About role playing, and that's another way to be added
I love role playing.
The clan as well.
Yeah. I think that's where something we kind of going to be experimenting with soon could come into play.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted a role play side of Jawa. Not necessarily a big part of it, but like a little hub of people who create role play events. Or
are we talking about server events?
I mean server, forum, but done in a way that's obviously in our way, and not necessarily the way like some of the more famous roleplay clans do it, but just done in a really interesting way.
Because the forum ones have happened in the past. It's just hard to get that organized now.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, we need someone, like Autumn said, he's really interested in it, and he's hosted roleplay stuff before. As long as people want to do it, go ahead, like, create these events. And the council will try their best to work alongside that and get something started up. But yeah, okay, yeah. So the most difficult thing of working with Jacko, he won't let me step down. No. He's American. No.
Wow.
I honestly, I don't have anything. Like, I think in terms of us working together, I think we work together very well.
Yeah.
So I don't really have anything sort of what's difficult to work with you with, I guess.
We can do a follow-up interview in a year to see if it's changed.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's really difficult. I mean, we have our different opinions from time to time, but we always end up, coming up to a compromise or working something out. And it's never gotten to the point to where it's been an issue. And I don't really think it will be, just because we already get along so well.
Yeah. We do have very different characteristics about each other in terms of our personalities, which I think work well together, just like me and Link did. But it's sort of kind of roles reversed now. It's I'm the Link, you're the Nightwing, in a way. I'm the oldest one here. But yeah, like, I think in terms of anything that's difficult, is I wish you were more confident in yourself with your role, but that's something that will come over time. That's something that will that was something that will come as as the years go on. But I never used to be as confident as I am now.
Yeah.
But that's something that will come in time, and we need to move on now because it's making me laugh. But that is something that will come, and like I said, I don't think there's anything that's difficult working alongside you. I think we work really well together. And I think if we didn't, it would show. The plan would realise, and something would change.
By now.
Yeah, if it didn't work out, you wouldn't have been here by now. Because it just doesn't last, I guess. But yeah, that's why we're very careful about who we select as well. The leaders have to mesh, just like the council has to mesh.